I'm going to teach you the top 5 easiest metal guitar chords to learn. These chords are a great starting point if you're starting out playing guitar, especially in the metal scene, and you want to write your own riffs or learn a lot of songs. They use a lot of these concepts. And as you progress, you'll be able to expand upon this as well. So it's a great starting point. So if you want to learn this, I'm going to have the tabs on the screen so you can follow along, and let's get into it. The first chord we're going to learn is the power chord. And if you're not sure what a power chord is or how it's made, I do have a video here that you can check out on the cards there. I go into more depths about power chords and how to build chords from scratch, and this will really help you out to further your knowledge. A power chord is basically a shortened chord, and to build up a full chord, you need 3 notes. You need the first, third, and fifth, and the third is left out on a power chord. The third note is basically a note that tells us if it's major or minor. So a power chord is neither major or minor. Okay, so to play a power chord, there's 2 ways to do it. So the first way I'm going to teach you how to do it is with a drop tuning. So a drop tuning is where this note here, the lowest note on the guitar, which on this guitar is in A, so the guitar tuning is in drop A. It matches the string tuning of the A here. If you're in a standard tuning, you'd be playing in E standard usually, which would be this. And basically you're tuning on the guitar a whole step down, bringing it down to D. So if you're playing in a standard tuning guitar, you'd tune the E string on your guitar all the way down a whole step to D. And this is a really popular way to play power chords, as it's really easy just to play all of the notes open and fretted on one finger. So it makes power chords extremely easy to do. So to make our power chord with the open tuning here, we need to play our open string, which is the A note. Also, we need to add the 5th note of the scale degree. For this example, for A, we're going to need to play E. So E is going to be on this string. And the next string down below that is just an A string again. So playing it open is going to be another A. So we're just doubling up on the octave of the A. So altogether, playing all 3 strings is going to make an A power chord. Now we have this power chord. It's all the 3 open strings from the top, lower string going down. That means we can play and fret our first finger on any of these frets here to build power chords extremely easy. So to play an A power chord in a standard tuning guitar, maybe an E standard, you're going to use this finger here. I'm going to fret it on the 5th fret on the E string. Then we're going to use these 2 fingers right here. And we're going to go on to the next strings here. So we're going to go for the A string. For this finger, it's going to be on the 7th fret. And this pinky finger is going to be on the 7th fret on the D string. And you can see it's the same power chord as we'll be playing like this, but just a bit higher. Next up is major chords, and major chords are important as well in all music. They have a brighter, more cheerful sound to them than power chords or even minor chords, but they definitely can still create some heavy and unique sounds and powerful sounds as well. So we're going to learn the major chords for our chords here. It's going to be very simple. We've already learnt the power chord. Now we just need to extend on that and add the 3rd note of the scale degree, which is going to make it major or minor. So we're going to play a C power chord here. So on the 3rd fret with our guitar here, we're going to do the same as we do a power chord. So this finger is going to be fretting the 3rd frets all the way down. And we're going to use our pinky, which is going to stretch a little bit. And we're going to stretch it all the way to the 7th fret on the A string here. And that's going to give us the major third. So if you wanted to find the major third, an easy way if you're playing power chords, all you're going to do here, you'd find your scale. So we've got the C major scale. So this is going to be C. Now 1, and then we're going to count 1, 2, and hit 3. And the 3 of the major scale is going to get our major third that we can add. You can see up here, we've hit that there at the top, which is going to give us our third, which is going to be C. So C, D, E. Because we're in a drop tuning like this, in a drop A tuning, so we've got the A, and then we've got E, and then A once again, That means we can just go and drop this pinky all the way to the A string once again on the 7th fret. And then we fret the 3rd fret. That's going to give us our major chord. And you can make any major chord that you would like. You can just move it around and just move that position up and down the fretboard. So for minor chords are a great sound and they're used a lot in combination in metal songs as well. They have a unique sad characteristic and they're very fun to use in your songs. So we already know how to play a power chord. We already know how to play a major chord. And basically a minor chord here in this position is going to be super easy to do as well. All we need to do is play that major chord. So if we're going to play a C major like we did just before a moment ago. So for our major, we had this finger here playing the 3rd fret for these two low strings. And then we had our pinky playing on the 7th on the A string here with that big stretch there, which looks like this. So to make it minor, all we need to do with our pinky that's playing on that E on the A string, we just need to slide it down 1 semitone right here, which is going to be E flat, or you could call it D sharp, whatever you like, but we're just flattening that 3rd. So that's a major 3rd in the major there. All we need to do is go down 1 semitone. That's going to bring us to a minor chord here in the same position. That's going to sound like this. And as you can see, you can do the same thing. You can move it around the fretboard, change it around in different positions to get that minor feel. A lot of songs will do this where they'll play that minor chord and they'll just go up 1 semitone and move back. And it gives this unique sound there where you're just doing the same shape, and it's very useful in certain parts of metal songs and it's used a lot. So I really like that sound. So to play the minor chord, all we need to do is this index finger on the 3rd fret, which is going to cover our 2 low strings. So 3 for both of them. It's going to be fretted. And then our pinky is going to be on the 6th fret on the A string like this. Next, we have something I like to call power chords with a flattened 5th. I don't know if that's the correct name of it, but it's basically a power chord with the 5th note that we learnt there, and it's flattened, so it goes down a semitone. It has a really cool sound. It creates this nice dissonance and unresolved sound, which is really nice for metal songs. To give you an example of what it sounds like, here are a couple of the chords here we're going to learn, and I'm going to play them in context, and you'll be able to learn them. These are basically just power chords, but we're flattening the 5th, giving it this semitone difference between the sound there, making it extremely dissonant because that flattened 5th just wants to resolve. So this one's a little bit different. So to play this one, you're going to need to know the scale, and you're going to need to know the scale degrees of the intervals so you can get that sound correct. So that sequence of chords I was playing in A minor, and I had that first chord, I was using that 12 and 8 for that first one, switching down to 8 and 5, and then switching to 3 and 7, so a bigger stretch. And those positions, I'm going to walk you through how to play them. They're different, and the reason that you have to play them different is because of that interval in that scale, getting that flattened 5th. So it's worth knowing your scales to get those intervals correct so you can get that right sound when switching it and in that sort of chord sequence. So I'm going to walk you through those 3 chords here. So to play this chord here with this finger on the top string here, the lowest string, we're going to play the 8th fret, and then with our pinky on the E string on the 12th fret, we're going to play as well. And the most comfortable way to play this is having your 2 top fingers up here just standing straight up, and you kind of just play in the same position like this. You'll notice when you play this position that you'll see there's 3 empty frets from where your 2 fingers are. So that's when you know you're doing that first position correct. And then the next one, I just move down. So this finger here, move to the 5th fret on the lowest string there, and on the pinky right now, we're going to stretch it to the 8th fret on the E string. So that's our 2 there. And that position's here, it can look like this. One thing we're going to notice now as we've moved down, that our fingers between these two fingers right here, the fret distance is shorter. It's not 3 frets, it's only 2 frets now. So that's important to know when you're trying to create that sound, because now we have the same interval relationship that we had in a different chord here. That sounds like this. And for that last chord of that sequence, you can see I moved down. So this finger moving to the 3rd fret here, and our pinky is going to be all the way on the 7th fret on the E string like this. So that fret distance now, you can see once again, is 3 frets in that gap. So it's gone back to the original stretch of that position to make that correct intervals. And this is what it sounds like when you play it. The other chord I have here is a lot easier to play. It's less stretchy and it's just using one finger. So we're just using the index finger here, and it's going to be on the E string on the 4th fret. And you probably hear this a lot in different songs. Once I play it, you're going to recognize it. It has a very interesting sound to it when it's chugged in a sort of breakdown sense. So all we're going to be playing is the lowest open string and on fretted on the 4th fret on the E string here. That's creating the exact same relationship in those intervals. Very easy to play as well, and has some cool uses as well if you want to throw it in there into some of your songs. And last we have major 7th chords, and these are a little bit different, and I love using these. They have a very distinct and interesting sound to them. They're kind of more complex and sophisticated sounding, and they have a very nice sound to them. I don't know, I hear it a lot in bands like Invent Animate, use this position a lot. So the way these are built, they're using the root note of the chord. They're also using the major 3rd of the chord and also the major 7th of the chords, creating a major 7th chord. And these are some positions I like to use. They're very kind of dissonant, open sounding, and they have a unique sound. So this is what they sound like. This is an F major 7 chord, and to play this, we're going to use this finger here on the 1st fret on the E string. Next down on the A string, we're going to leave that open, so to let that play as an open string. And we're going to use this finger here on the D string, and it's going to be on the 2nd fret. So I can play this F major 7 in a different shape that can be moved around just like the power chords as well. Usually I only play that shape down on this end of the fret, and that's the only way I play it. Another way you could play it is on the 8th fret here, just fretting one string on the lower string, and then on the E and the A, just let them ring open. That would be the same effect there. This other shape that I'll teach is an F major 7 as well, but you better transfer it to any note you like. So to play it in this position, you want to use this finger here on the 8th fret on the A string. I'm going to use this finger here. I'm going to play on the 7th fret on the D string. And we're going to use our pinky, and that's going to be on the 9th fret on the G string. And it's going to make this little triangle shape with your fingers. And it's pretty easy and comfortable to play, and it's going to sound like this all together. And one thing I like to do as well with this position, when you're on the 9th fret there with your pinky, you can slide it up one semitone, and you kind of switch between that sort of semitone there, and it kind of gives it an interesting characteristic that you can use for certain parts of your riff. You're basically just raising that 7th note there to give it a different sound. And it's cool to use, and it sounds pretty cool. I hear it in a lot of songs, especially a lot of bands that I like to listen to use that. That's the 5 easy chords that I like to use and play in metal. So hopefully this video helped you out. If you like it, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next video.